What's going on? We back with the Boxing Clinic more. Y'all know what it is. Your boy CJ Goodfella back on the boxing grind. One time for the one time Sunday afternoon. And we're speaking on a potential Jarrett Hurd and Jermell Charlo unification bout. It won't be for undisputed because Saddam Ali holds the WBO title. But what's funny about it, Hurd and then Lima Smith, Hurd said last night already had talks about unifying. And Jarrett Swift Hurd wants to unify and then move up. He wants to become undisputed at 154. He said if Lima Smith beats Saddam Ali, they already had talks about unifying. So, his plan's already in rotation. If he could take care of Jermell Charlo, and if that's what he wants to do next. But he said if he can't get the WBO, he just move up to middleweight, which I think might be a mistake for him because there are better punchers at middleweight. And his style is exciting, very exciting. And I seen a lot of improvement last night, like I said on the reaction video, and during the fight. He's improving his defense. He's improving cutting the ring off. He's improving, his technique on his punches. So he's getting a lot more snap, and he turned his punches over more, being consistent with some of his punches. A lot of people don't know he can be a counter puncher and move backwards. He has some more skills than people truly know about, but I just think at 54, with his size is just a problem for a lot of other junior middleweights. At middleweight, it won't be a problem for Jermell Charlo. It won't be a problem for Danny Jacobs. It won't be a problem for Billy Joe Saunders. He might be a problem for Canelo. Golovkin, I think, could be a problem for Jarrett Swift Hurd. A lot more bigger punchers and different fighters. You look at the pattern. He hasn't fought a big puncher at 154 pounds yet. But his chin seems to be good. But he said he felt Lara power. He was honest about that. But, him stepping up to Jermell Charlo is a different beast. And I know a lot of people don't like Jermell Charlo and his brother because they're so animated and they talk a lot. But that's how you market yourself. And that's what people don't understand. Humbleness in boxing don't get you paid. It really don't. Just being humble and not being marketable in this era won't get you paid. And the Charlos are trying to follow the Floyd Mayweather script. So is Adrian Broner. Look how he's doing for Adrian Broner. No matter when he lose, people still tune in to see what he's doing. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where the Charlo's going with it. They talk the shit. It ain't like they talk shit and don't back it up. That's what's killing me. People get behind like Anthony Joshua talking shit, but it's not real. It's a facade. What he's saying, you don't feel it. When Charlo say something, you feel it, and it's authentic. A lot of people ain't authentic, ain't 100 out here, so they can't feel what real is. They gravitate towards the false shit and the bullshit, and that's what they like. You know what I'm saying? But with the Charlos, they keep it real. And I like that. And, Charlo and Hurd is definitely going to be another exciting fight. It is. That's got action written all over it. Now, if this was Jermell Charlo that was still with Ronnie Shields, that fight would look like what the Lara fight looked like yesterday. But even when he was with Ronnie Shields and he wasn't sending down his punches, he still was a better puncher than Arizona Lara was. So I think it would have been a more difficult fight for Charlo if he still had the style of a mover. But it's always good to have versatility in your back pocket. But a lot of people, like I keep saying, they think Jermell Charlo is a more talented Charlo brother. I keep telling people Jermell is. Jermell is a well-rounded fighter now with Derrick James. He obviously, if you follow his career, can move on his feet and box and move and counterpunch. He can fight like a young Floyd Mayweather used to fight. Hooks off the hooking and moving. Side to side, in and out. He had a beautiful game, but he had to learn how to. He had to learn what many fighters have to learn to do. Like Caleb Plant, he got to learn how to do this, and Saddam Ali is learning how to do it. You a gifted mover and puncher because you can hit on the move, you can hurt guys. But it come a time when you can't move all the time during the fight. You have to sit down and punch. And Lara, when he had to sit down and punch with Jarrett Swift Hurd and made a decision, he didn't have enough punch variety in his arsenal to deal with Jarrett Swift Hurd. Even though if he didn't get dropped, he won that fight. Oh, he won that fight last night and won because it was a 3-point swing. Because the droppers gave Jarrett Hurd another point, and then Jarrett Hurd got a point for winning the round. But if Lara would have won the round, it would have been a 3-point swing, but he didn't. And Lara just relied on the 1-2, and his hooks wasn't powerful enough. He didn't throw his hooks often. Lara should have went to the body a lot more. But Jermell Charlo is a better puncher than Lara. It's night and day. And physically, he's probably the only junior middleweight now that his brother's gone that can deal with Hurd's physicality. Hurd will be hurt in that fight. He will. He will be hurt in that fight. He said Lara stung him a little bit. And Lara left hand got a lot of pop, but Lara doesn't follow up. Lara, like I told you guys, when Cubans are programmed to throw 2 or 3 punches at a time. They can't really pretty much throw any more than 2 or 3 at a time. And Lara didn't invest any, he invested any water in the basement. That was his issue. And I just feel Jermell Charlo is the only guy on general middle I could think of right now that's on this level that can deal with Lara, with Hurd's size. And Hurd won't just walk Charlo down like that. And he admitted it last night, saying that he won't have to go find Charlo. Charlo's gonna come to Hurd, but he's not gonna come to Hurd without defending himself. He's a step above Lara in means of offense, size, and power. He's way steps above in the power department now. Punch variety, he steps above. Talent wise, he's above Trout. He's supposed to be fighting Trout June 9th, rumored. And he got good footwork. Can Hurd win the fight? Yeah, Hurd is a beast. But Hurd is gonna have to take his game to another level if he's gonna beat this Charlo brother. And I know a lot of you guys don't like the Charlo brothers, and y'all y'all let y'all hate towards them, blind them, but this Charlo brother got talent. At the end of the day, he can do whatever you want in the ring. He can bounce and move. He can come forward and be aggressive, and it's gonna be an excellent fight. Jarrett Hurd is bringing excitement back to boxing, But I think it's a big mistake for him to consider going to 160 right now. I think it's a huge mistake. He got to improve more at 154. Should he fight Charlo next? Obviously that's the fight that we want to see, But I think Jarrett Hurd deserves a homecoming fight first. That's my opinion. I think he deserves a title defense first. But then you got to look at it, when does the mandatories kick in? But maybe he could fight a mandatory at home first. He's a super WBA champion now. He don't have a mandatory. But the IBF, you know how they do it. But for him to beat Jermell Charlo is going to have to be, his counterpunching self. He can't walk Charlo down like he walked out through, Lara, Harrison, and Trout. He can't do that. He got to come with another level. And he came with another level versus Lara last night. He got to come with another level, He got to tighten up. Because this Charlo brother is different. He different from Lara. It's night and day. This dude going to throw combinations. He going to sit down and deliver. Lara, he never really sits down on his punches and deliver combinations or deliver his punches with conviction. But he can box. But Swift Hurd showed that he learned to cut the ring off. Swift Hurd got a good team around him because every time you see him, he improved. And I know he had a late start in boxing, but he improving. And the way he cut the ring off on Lara last night, Lara couldn't do shit but sit on the ropes. But when Lara kept that fight in the middle of the ring, he couldn't do shit with Lara. Even when and they was in close in the middle of the ring, Lara dominated the fight. And I expect Charlo to keep the fight in the middle of the ring and dominate the fight. Dominate it. Would Charlo go head hunting? He could. It's hard not to go head hunting versus Jarrett Hurd. Lara went head hunting and his punches he didn't do anything because he didn't throw anything behind the 1-2. He might mix in a sloppy hook then and there, but that's not his punches. That left hand is his money punch. When he was pop shotting, Hurd, yeah, you could tell he was hurting Hurd because he stopped Hurd dead in his tracks, but he never stepped over and ran a combination again or went to the body enough, and that was his mistake last night. And for Jermell Charlo, every time he go out, people doubt him. People do doubt him every time he go out. Him and Derrick James came a long way from the John Jackson fight. You could tell that he hadn't meshed yet. Now he's on the streak with the Charles Hadley fight, with the Erickson Lubin fight where y'all doubted him again. He ready for this. And this is his career-defining fight. This is Jarrett Hurd. Already had a career-defining fight. He going for it again. Hurd said Charlo is an easier fight. I don't think so. I think Charlo has a good opportunity to stop this guy. I know Hurd's chin is very, very good, but he hasn't really fought a puncher. he said Erislandy Lara was his hardest puncher that he's fought. And Lara's not even considered a big puncher, but he got a big left hand. He just doesn't follow it up. But he's got fight of the year written all over it right here. I can see Hurd winning the fight. I won't be surprised because, we seen Charlo in a dogfight with Vanez before, and Vanez was one of the most decorated little amateurs, in the U.S. coming in his time. He was decorated. He was winning tournaments. He was a good fighter. That's how he got his good deal with Top Rank, Armenian background, training with Freddie Roach as a pro. It just didn't translate. And I can't wait to see this fight. I wouldn't be mad just with her had a fight in between there. Then next year they came and did and built it up. Because Charlo said he want to stay at 54 for the long haul. So, I can see it happening. But if PBC can deliver this fight next, I think this is a fight worth going to for me. And it depends on where they have it at. It'll be a very exciting fight. But Jermell Charlo got to get past his June 9th fight. It's supposed to be against Austin Trout, I believe. Because I said there ain't a lot of opponents at 54. So hopefully they get a big unification clash going. Hurd is the Super WBA champion, mandatory IBF and the WC champion, Jermell Charlo.